What happens when someone gets a second chance at freedom and throws it all away? Today, we're diving into a jaw-dropping probation violation case that started with trading stolen gun for drugs. Yeah, you heard that right. Stolen gun for drugs. But that's just the beginning. This defendant didn't just violate probation once or twice. She got caught using meth inside the county jail. The prosecution wants nearly 2 years minimum. The defense is begging for mercy, and the judge? Well, let's just say he's not in a forgiving mood. Will this recovering addict's emotional pleas save her from years behind bars? Or will her repeated violations finally catch up to her? Buckle up, because this sentencing is about to get intense.
Good morning, Mr. Gobi.
Good morning, Your Honor.
This is the time and date set for probation violation sentencing. If you had a chance to review the probation violation report.
I have, Your Honor.
Any additions, corrections?
No, Your Honor, other than the allocution. And my client also has allocution too.
Okay, Mr. Juliet, any additions, corrections from the people?
No, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Dobiash, go ahead with anything you'd like to say on behalf of your client.
Your Honor, I've read the probation violation recommendation report. It's well written. It's very detailed. There is a recommendation here from the Department of Corrections that the defendant be sentenced to not less than 23 months to 5 years with credit for 157 days previously served.
Okay, let's break this down because the numbers just got real. The Department of Corrections is recommending 23 months minimum. That's almost 2 full years before she's even eligible for parole. And get this, they can keep her up to 5 years if she doesn't behave. She's already served 157 days, which sounds like a lot, but when you're looking at potentially 1,825 days total, that's just a drop in the bucket. The defense attorney is about to make his play for a reduced sentence. But here's the thing. When you're caught using drugs in jail, how much sympathy can you really expect? Let's see if this defense strategy works.
My argument here would be that in this case, a year and a half, 1 year, 6 months would be sufficient in this case. Ms. Aker obviously has a serious methamphetamine problem. At the time that she suffered this charge, she was in the Sheboygan County Jail. I hate to say it, but something like this floating around, the temptations there, it can't be helped, but obviously she should not be using methamphetamine within the confines of the Sheboygan County Jail. And it just goes back that I believe that a year and a half would be sufficient.
Thank you, Mr. Dobiash. Ms. Akers, you don't have to make a statement today, but it is allowed. Is there anything you want to say or no?
Yes. Your Honor, good morning. I want to start off by saying I'm sorry to everyone in the community. I know I've made mistakes in my life and since I've been locked up, but I've really been taking the rest of my time seriously and trying to do better. With the mistakes I have made, I have set goals and dreams for my future. Not asking for no time at all, but I'm asking for forgiveness and leniency. So after my time, I can prove to myself and to the community that I am a good person. And just because I'm an addict, I can still do good things in my life and will be a recovering addict and still make a life for myself. Thank you.
Wow. Did you feel that? That was raw. That was real. And honestly, that was heartbreaking. She's not denying anything. She's owning her addiction, admitting she messed up even while locked up, but she's asking for something we all want, a chance to prove we're more than our worst moments. But here's the brutal reality check. When you're standing in front of a judge for violating probation on a guns for drugs charge, and you got caught using meth in jail, apologies might not be enough. The prosecutor is about to drop the hammer, and trust me, they're not here to play nice. This is where things get really interesting.
Mr. Juliet, recommendations.
Your Honor, I would just note that on the underlying offense that's the subject of this probation violation, there was a good argument to send the defendant to prison on that charge alone. And since then, she has picked up one OWI, operating under the influence of drugs, and one possession of methamphetamine in Chippewa County, together with this prisoner possession of contraband and use of meth in jail. So I do think it's time to send her to prison. So I'd ask the court to follow the recommendation.
Hold up. The prosecutor just revealed the full picture, and it's worse than we thought. This isn't just about using drugs in jail. She's been on a crime spree, an OWI, that's driving under the influence of drugs, putting innocent lives at risk. Another possession charge in a different county. She's literally collecting charges like they're Pokemon cards. The prosecutor's argument is crystal clear. She already dodged prison once, got probation instead of hard time. And what did she do with that gift? She threw it away, repeatedly. The judge is about to make his decision, and based on his body language, this isn't looking good. Let's see how this plays out.
All right, thank you. Ms. Akers, if you please stand for the court sentence. Oftentimes in the probation violation matters, what's a little tricky is, the violations themselves are not all that we're thinking about. As your attorney indicated, really the bulk of your violations here are using drugs, sometimes in the jail, which are separate crimes as well. But they're basically somebody who's struggling with substance abuse, continuing to struggle with substance abuse. Well, we don't like to send people to prison for just that. But when we're sentencing people for violations of probation, we are back here on the underlying case, and the underlying case was very serious. You were involved with a number of other people trading stolen guns for drugs. And in that case, you could have gone to prison that day at that sentencing. I gave you a downward departure to let it be concurrent with stuff you had going on in another county so that you could have those chances. And sadly, you haven't really taken advantage of that. There's been a lot of new criminal activity while you've been on probation, in the jail, out of the jail, sometimes driving. So for that reason, I think it's certainly appropriate to revoke your probation.
This judge just delivered a masterclass in judicial reasoning. Did you catch what he just did? He acknowledged her addiction struggles. He's not heartless, but then he dropped the truth bomb. I already gave you a break. He's basically saying, look, I could have sent you to prison for trading stolen guns for drugs, but I didn't. I gave you concurrent sentencing. I gave you probation. I gave you a chance. And what happened? New crimes in jail, out of jail, behind the wheel. Everywhere, the judge is done playing nice. The gavel is about to drop. And based on everything we've heard, this sentence is going to sting. Here it comes.
What was the violation referred to in this one was use in the jail? Okay. All right. So based on what we're here for the violation we're here for, I will revoke your probation and I'll commit you to the Michigan Department of Corrections for a term of not less than 18 months nor more than 5 years. And you have credit for 157 days previously served. Any amounts that were previously assessed remain due and owing in the amount of any unpaid balance. You look like you have a question about that. You have a question for your lawyer for me? 18 months is when you're eligible for 18 months minus the 157 credit, you're eligible for parole. But they can keep you up to 5 years if you don't behave well in prison. So it's 18 months to 5 years sentence, credit for 157 days. If you wish to file an appeal, you have to file an application to the Court of Appeals. If you wanted a lawyer for that, you'd have to ask me within 42 days. So we're going to hand you some paperwork explaining that appeal process, ask you to initial one copy for us, and the other ones for you to fill out if you want to take an appeal. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
And there it is, 18 months to 5 years in Michigan State Prison. The judge split the difference between what the defense wanted and what the prosecution demanded. Let's recap this roller coaster. We started with a woman who traded stolen guns for drugs, got a miracle second chance with probation instead of prison, then proceeded to get caught with meth in jail. Pick up an OWI and another possession charge. The defense tried to play the addiction card. She made an emotional plea, but ultimately, the judge said enough is enough. Here's the reality check. With 157 days credit, she could be out in about 13 months if she's a model prisoner. But if she continues her pattern, she could serve the full 5 years. This case is a stark reminder that probation isn't a get-out-of-jail-free card. It's a test, and she failed it spectacularly. What do you think? Was 18 months too harsh for someone struggling with addiction, or too lenient for someone who repeatedly broke the law? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this courtroom breakdown as intense as we did, smash that like button. Share this video with someone who loves true crime content, and subscribe with notifications on so you never miss our next shocking courtroom breakdown. We'll see you in the next one. Court is adjourned.